Welcome to American Truck Training. My name is Carl Livingston. I am the Director of Training here at the school. This is Ricky Hodge, the lead instructor. Today we're going to show you how to perform a pre-trip inspection on commercial vehicle and trailer. Pre-trip inspection is one of 3 steps that you have to perform at DPS to get your CDL. Pre-trip inspection is broken up into 4 sections. Section A basically covers the front of the truck, underneath, the passenger side of the engine compartment with the hood open, and then around to the driver's side of the engine compartment, and the suspension and the brakes and the tire. That is Section A. Section B basically covers from the firewall down the side of the truck, including the driver's door, the storage compartment, and around to the back of the cab, back of the sleeper. Section C basically covers the front bulkhead of the trailer and around the driver's side all the way down the side and underneath, and including the tandem axles, suspension, and tires and brakes at the back of the trailer. DPS also has the option of giving you Section D, which is all 3 of what I've just told you about, A, B, and C. Also, something you have to remember with each one of these sections, you also have to talk about the coupling, which is where the truck and the trailer are attached to each other. And we will show you that here in just a few minutes. The other thing you have to talk about when you get in the truck, you're going to talk about the windows, the mirrors, the gauges, the heater, the defroster, stuff like that. But you also have to do a brake test. This test consists of 7 steps that you have to do in a particular order. And what's most crucial is the coupling and the brake test have to be done at 100%. Anything less than that is a fail. The rest of it, as long as you pretty much cover everything, you're going to be fine. But the coupling and the brake test has to be 100%. At this point, Ricky will start with Section A, and if you follow along.
We're now going to start with Section A. What you want to do is when you approach the truck, you want to look for the 3 L's: leans, leaks, loose hanging wires, and hoses. So as I'm approaching the vehicle, I want to see if the truck is leaning either left or right, which could be an indication of suspension damage, a flat tire, or even a load shift. Then I'm going to look underneath, and I'm going to make sure I don't see any leaks or puddles, and no loose hanging wires or hoses. That's your 3 L's. Then we're going to start at the top. You have your clearance lights at the very top on the sun visor. They're amber in color. They're mounted securely, not missing, damaged, or broken. You have your fender mirrors. They are not missing, damaged, or broken. You have your headlights, left and right, high and low beam, clear in color, not missing, damaged, or broken. You also have a set of fog lights. Doesn't matter if you mention those or not. You have your left and right turn signals, your driving lamps, and your 4-way flashers, which should be amber in color. They're not missing, damaged, or broken. We will now go over here to the right-hand side. Always start at the top, work your way down, go from the inside and work your way out. So here at the very top, your radiator line, it is mounted securely with clamps. There is no abrasion, bulges, and cuts, and no leaks. Whenever you have a fluid or air inside something, you always want to check for leaks or for audible leaks for air. Next down, we have our alternator. It is mounted securely to the vehicle. It's not bent, broken, or cracked. Mounted securely to the vehicle by nuts and bolts. It is belt driven, and the belt itself Must not be no more than 3/4 of an inch of play and no tears or frays on it. Your water pump is located almost directly behind the fan. It is mounted securely to the vehicle. It is not leaking. And it is also belt driven. And the belt does not have any cuts or frays. And again, no more than 3/4 of an inch of play in the belt. And we shall move to the left side. This is your radiator tank that holds your antifreeze. It is filled to manufacturer specifications. Look for the specifications here along the tank. It's also topped off with a cap. The cap has a rubber seal in it. And again, it is liquid, so there are no leaks. Dropping down, you have your fan belts running again, so check on this side too to make sure your fan belts are fine. This is another radiator hose. You want to check that. Held in place with clamps, no abrasion, bulges, and cuts, no leaks. Moving towards the inside to the rear of the engine. Extremely hard to see is your air compressor. It is really buried in there. You need a flashlight to see it. It is mounted securely to the vehicle. There are no audible leaks. It's got air. And it is gear driven. Further back, if you follow these lines from the power steering reservoir, follow these lines all the way to the rear, that will be your power steering pump. It is mounted securely to the vehicle by nuts and bolts, and it has a fluid in it so it is not leaking. And it is also gear driven. This is your oil cap to add your oil. It is mounted securely to the vehicle. I would remove that to add any engine oil to the vehicle. It's not missing, damaged, or broken. This is your dipstick. This is where you check your oil level. It is also mounted securely to the vehicle and it's not leaking. And to check the oil, you would pull this all the way out, wipe it with a cloth, stick it back in, pull it back out, and check the level that's marked on the stick itself. Then you have your power steering reservoir. It is mounted securely to the vehicle, and again, it has a fluid, so there are no visible leaks. Check the proper level of the power steering reservoir. These are my power steering lines that come down to my steering gearbox. They are securely mounted with clamps. There's no abrasion, bulges, and cuts on the lines themselves. No leaks. This is your steering gearbox. It is mounted securely to the vehicle. It is not damaged or broken. Then you have your pitman arm, this long piece right here. This is your pitman arm. It is mounted securely to the gearbox. It's not missing, damaged, or broken. This piece here is called your drag link. It is not missing, damaged, or broken. This piece right here is called a steering knuckle. It is mounted securely to the vehicle. It's not missing, damaged, or broken. And these pieces are held in place with what they call a castle nut and a cotter pin. It's a wire pin that goes through and locks the nuts into place. Next, we have our suspension. You have your front and rear spring hangers and mounts. They are mounted securely to the vehicle. They are not missing, damaged, or broken. You have your middle mount, which is right here. It is not missing, damaged, or broken, and it's held in place with 2 U-bolts and 4 nuts. These are your leaf springs. They are mounted securely to the vehicle, and what you want to do is you want to say they're not scissoring, and what that's doing is means they're doing this. They're scissoring apart or shifting. They're going from one side to the other. They're not missing, damaged, or broken. No cracks and no illegal welds. Then you come up here to your shock absorber. It is mounted securely to the top and the bottom by nuts and bolts. This shock is filled with a liquid, so you want to make sure that it is not leaking. Next, we're moving on to the brake system. This is your brake air hose that is connected to your brake chamber. It is air, so you want to listen for audible leaks. This small black wire, or it could be a different color, that is your ABS, or your anti-lock braking system wire that runs down to a wheel speed sensor. You want to make sure there are no exposed wires on that. This is your brake chamber. You want to say it is mounted securely to the vehicle. It's not missing, damaged, or broken. No audible leaks. Then we're moving to the brake mechanism itself. This is your push rod back here where my finger is. Mounted with the clevis. This U-shaped piece here is called a clevis. These are clevis pins that attach to the slack adjuster, this large part right here. What you want to do is you want to say it's all mounted secure, not missing, damaged, or broken. And when the brakes are released, you should not be able to pull more than 1 inch on this slack adjuster. No more than 1 inch. Next, you have your brake shoes and linings right here. They're not missing, damaged, or broken. There is no oil or grease on them. No excessive wear. You must have a minimum of 1/4 inch of pad material on the brake shoes themselves. Then you have your brake drum, which will hold the tire on. This is your brake drum through here. It is mounted securely to the vehicle. It is not missing, damaged, or broken. It is not cracked, and there are no illegal welds. This is your inner rim and outer rim. If you want to talk about that, my rim on the inner side is not missing, damaged, or broken. No illegal welds. No illegal welds. The tire is mounted securely to the bead of the rim. It is not cut, damaged, or fray for a blowout. Then move to the tread depth itself. The tread itself is worn evenly on the tire. You must have at least 4/32 of an inch of tread depth in each major groove. 4/32. Stepping onto the side. My outer side wall has no abrasion, bulges, and cuts that could cause a blowout, and it's mounted securely to the bead of the rim itself. It is not damaged. My outer rim is not damaged, no illegal welds, no bends or breaks. My lug nuts are all present behind these decorative caps. They are mounted securely to the vehicle. There are no rust stains to indicate looseness. And when you pull these off, you want to make sure there's no shininess on the lugs to indicate that they have been over torqued. And then behind this cover, you have your front hub seal, your front hub seal. Make sure that it is filled to factory specifications and it is not leaking. Then you have your tire valve with a cap on it. Make sure that it is securely mounted to the rim and it is not leaking. You must have at least 100 pounds of air pressure in the tire itself. Your front hub seal. It is mounted securely to the vehicle by bolts, and it should be filled to factory specifications. It does not have any leaks. It's filled with a liquid again. And that's it for Section A. We're going to start with Section B now. It starts right here with your left mirror bracket. It is mounted securely to the vehicle by nuts and bolts, which holds your rear view mirror. It is not missing, damaged, or broken. While I'm standing right here, also part of your pre-trip is your DEF tank, or diesel exhaust fluid tank. This particular truck, it's located right here where the blue cap is. This is part of your exhaust system. Make sure it is got the cap on it and no leaks. It does have a liquid. Then you're going to open your door and check the operation of it. My door opens and closes with no problem. It is held in place with door hinges by nuts and bolts, and they're not damaged or loose. Give the door a little tug just like that to make sure it's not loose. Then you want to check the operation of your window. This truck has power windows. My window goes down and it goes up. Turn your key back off, that way you don't run your batteries down. My door seal, this black rubber stripping, is not missing, damaged, or broken. Be sure to mention that also. Then, there it is. Open that. Inside your cargo box, you have an ABC type fire extinguisher. Should be securely mounted, fully charged, up to date with a tag, with a safety pin in it. Next, we have a set of wheel chocks, just in case you need them, and a minimum of 3 red and amber emergency triangles. They're not missing, damaged, or broken either. I forgot one little item. This is my left turn signal and 4-way flasher. It is amber in color, not missing, damaged, or broken. I almost forgot that. Next, walking to the rear of the truck, looking for any damage. And you have your fuel tanks mounted left and right. They're held in place with straps, and they should have a static strap. That's that rubber piece right here that I'm pointing at. Mounted security to the vehicle, not missing, damaged, or broken. It has fuel in it, so no leaks. And it's topped off with a cap. The cap should have a rubber seal and a chain in it. And again, there are no leaks. Then you want to talk about the frame of your truck. It's not damaged or broken. No legal welds. And then moving on to the exhaust. This is your exhaust system. Some trucks have a stack running up. Some will have one that they breathe on the ground. This one has a stack running up. What you're checking for is any signs of damage or black soot. Usually comes out of flex pipes. The only soot that should be coming out is up here at the top of the exhaust stack. Then, this is your drive shaft. It is not damaged or broken, and there is no debris. Then you have your catwalk. Some trucks may have them, some may not. Mounted security to the vehicle. It is not damaged or broken to cause a tripping hazard. Then you have your steps. Mounted security to the vehicle, not damaged or broken, and nothing to cause you for any tripping hazard. Next are your air lines and your electrical line running from your truck to your trailer. These are part of your coupling also. So my air lines are mounted securely to the truck by nuts. They are not damaged or broken, no bulges, no audible leaks. Running all the way up and through to the trailer. My electrical line is mounted securely to the vehicle by a safety catch right here. The electrical line itself is not damaged or broken, no exposed wires. Make sure that you have plenty of slack in your air lines to allow for a tight turn. That's one thing you will be doing, is quite a few tight turns. Continuing on back. My air lines, my primary and secondary air lines, are attached to my trailer by a set of glad hands, these large metal pieces here. They're not damaged or broken. And on the inside of those, they have what they call a glad hand gasket. It's a rubber piece. No audible leaks. To my trailer, that is my electrical line, or some people call it a pigtail. It is attached to the trailer with a safety catch also. And again, no exposed wires. Then we get to step inside and do the brakes again. My air lines leading to my brake chamber are mounted securely to the vehicle. No abrasion, bulges, and cuts. No audible leaks. This truck also has an ABS system. All right, our air lines are securely mounted to the vehicle. There's no abrasion, bulges, and cuts, and no audible leaks. leading down to the brake chamber here. My brake chamber is mounted securely to the vehicle. It's not missing, damaged, or broken. And again, it has no audible leaks. Then you have another push rod way down here on the bottom side of this with a clevis pins, and cotter keys mounted to your slack adjuster. It is not missing, damaged, or broken. And again, when the brakes are released, you should not be able to pull more than 1 inch on the slack adjuster. Moving to the inside to your brakes. So again, we're going to go to our brakes. And again, look at your brake shoes and linings here at the top and bottom. No debris, no oil or grease. And again, they must have at least 1/4 inch of thickness on the brake shoes themselves. Then you have the brake drum again, right in through here. It is not damaged or broken. No cracks, no illegal welds. No oil or grease on them. Then we're going to move on to our suspension. This is your front spring mount. Then you have a rear spring mount. And you also have a middle mount, again, held in place with 2 U-bolts and 4 nuts. Your shock absorber is mounted securely at the top and bottom by nuts and bolts. And again, the shock absorber is filled with oil, so make sure there are no leaks. Then you have dual tires here, so you're going to have to check both tires. My inner and outer sidewalls on my inner tire, no abrasion, bulges, and cuts, which would cause a blowout. They're mounted securely to the rim. My tread depth on this tire is wearing evenly. On these tires, you must have at least 2/32 of an inch of tread depth in each major groove. Then coming to where the rims meet or bud together, there is no space between my rims, no daylight basically, no debris, no trash or debris inside the rims. This rim, the outer rim, inside of the outer rim, again, not damaged or broken, no illegal welds. My inner and outer tire wall is free of abrasion, bulges, and cuts for any type of blowouts. And again, the tread is wearing evenly and 2/32 of an inch in each major groove. To the outside of the rim, no damage, no illegal welds, mounted securely to the vehicle. My lug nuts are all present, mounted securely to the vehicle. Again, no rust stains to indicate that they are loose. And if you pull off the decorative caps, should be no shininess on the lug to indicate that they are over torqued. Behind this cap is an axle seal. Not a hub seal, but an axle seal. You cannot check the fluid level on this. You have to take the mechanic's word for it. But you can check it for leaks. And it's held in place with nuts and bolts. I would check the other axles as I've done this one. That is it, almost it for section B. This truck also has airbags for the rear suspension. It has an upper and lower airbag mount, and it's filled with air, so you're listening for leaks. Mounted securely to the vehicle, not damaged or broken. The bag has no abrasion, bulges, or cuts. Moving on towards the rear, you have your mud flap. It should be covered with 100% in DOT tape. No more than 6 to 8 inches off the ground. Mounted securely, not torn, damaged, or broken. Then you have your tail lights, left-right turn signals, brake lights, four-way flashers. They are red in color. We're going to move on to our axle seal. It is mounted securely to the vehicle by nuts and bolts, and it is not leaking. You cannot check the fluid on this. You have to take the mechanic's word for it, but you can check and make sure that it's not leaking and all the bolts and nuts are together. Then you're going to check your valve stem and cap. Make sure they're securely mounted to the vehicle, no audible leaks, and at least 100 pounds of air pressure in each tire. And that does it for section B. All right, we're now going to do part C, which will be your trailer. You want to start at the front, look up. You have your clearance lights in the front. They're amber in color. They're not missing, damaged, or broken. Look at your header board or your front wall of your trailer. Make sure there are no holes, no excessive rivets missing. Coming down to your frame, this is the frame of your trailer. Your frame is not damaged or broken, and no illegal welds. Moving towards the back here, underneath, this is your apron, this large metal piece. It is not damaged or broken. It is held in place with factory welds. And then we will come back when we do the coupling here in a minute on this. Coming further back, these are my cross members. These bars running from left to right. They're not damaged or broken. Then you have your floor or flooring. There are no holes in my floor. You do not have to inspect the entire thing. Just stand up and say, and I would inspect the rest of my trailer as I've done here. Then go to your sidewall. Sidewall of my trailer is not damaged or broken, no holes, no excessive rivets missing, no bulges. And the side of my trailer must be covered in at least 50% of DOT tape. 50% minimum. Moving on back. This is my landing gear. It is mounted securely to the vehicle by factory welds, nuts and bolts. The landing gear itself is in the upright and travel position. My landing gear crank handle is in the locked position. There should be no debris on the feet of my landing gear, and there is some here, and it should be raised all the way up. Also, check and make sure that you have spacing between the frame of your truck and your landing gear to allow for a tight turn. Proper spacing between the landing gear and the rear frame of the truck. Moving on down. I have a left turn signal and a four-way flash here. Mounted securely to the vehicle, amber in color. It's not damaged or broken. Moving on back again. Checking the sidewalls of your truck. Then, coming underneath, this is a torque bar on your rear suspension of your trailer. This is your front spring mount. You'll also have a rear spring mount towards the rear of the trailer. You're also going to have another middle mount. That's held in place with two U-bolts and 4 nuts. The top piece here are your leaf springs, mounted securely to the vehicle. No illegal welds, not damaged or broken. No shifting, again, as they shift like a pair, from side to side, or scissoring like a pair of scissors. This is your torque arm, mounted securely to the vehicle, not missing, damaged, or broken. Now, we'll go to the braking system. These are your air lines, mounted securely to the vehicle. No abrasion, bulges, and cuts, no air leaks. This trailer has an ABS system, so this is your ABS sensor wire. It is mounted securely to the vehicle with no bare wires showing. This is your brake chamber, mounted securely to the vehicle, not damaged or broken, no audible leaks. Then to the inside, your brake shoes and linings, mounted securely to the vehicle, not damaged or broken, no oil, no grease, and again, at least a 1/4 inch of depth left off of the brake shoes and linings, no oil or grease, and again, at least 1/4 inch of depth on the brake shoes themselves. Then you have your brake drum, mounted securely to the rims, It is not damaged or broken, and again, no illegal welds, and again, no oil or grease. Tires, again, you have dual tires back here, so check your inner and outer tire treads, or tire walls. Make sure they're mounted securely to the rims. No abrasion, bulges, and cuts. No audible leaks. Tread depth, again, must be 2/32 of an inch in each major groove, evenly worn. Dual tires, you want to check for any gaps between the rims. No daylight, the rims are not cracked, and no debris or trash. Coming to the outside the tread wall and on the outside tire. No abrasion, bulges, and cuts, no audible leaks. And again, tread depth must be at least 2/32 of an inch, each major groove, worn evenly. Coming to the outside, my outside rim is not damaged or broken. No illegal welds. Lug nuts are all present, not missing. No rust to indicate looseness. No silvering to indicate over-torqued. My valve stem and cap mounted security to the vehicle. No audible leaks. At least 100 pounds of air pressure per tire, minimum. And another hub seal. Mounted security to the vehicle by nuts and bolts. This one has a window where you can see the oil level in it. It is not damaged or broken and not leaking. And this is my valve stem and cap, mounted securely to the rim. It is not damaged or broken and no audible leaks. And again, make sure that your tires are at least 100 pounds of air pressure cold. That ABS light's on.
Sure is.
This trailer, again, has an ABS system and all-lock brake system. And usually it's mounted on the left-hand side of the trailer, either at the front or the rear of the trailer. It is not missing, damaged, or broken. This is my trailer mud flap or splash guard. It is mounted securely to the vehicle. It's not missing, damaged, or broken. And again, it must be 6 to 8 inches above the ground. This is my rear clearance light or running light. It is red in color. Everything towards the front of the truck is amber. Towards the rear will be red. And again, it is not missing, damaged, or broken. Stepping around to the rear of the trailer, I normally start at the top and work my way down. So at the very top, I have 3 red running lights. They are not missing, damaged, or broken. Then I have my door hinges. These are door hinges. They're not missing, damaged, or broken, both sides. Door pins. They're not missing, damaged, or broken, both sides. These are your door latches. Make sure the doors are shut fully, top and bottom. And these are your door safety latches. They are locked into place, top and bottom. Then, moving to here, you have your brake lights, tail lights, turn signals left and right, 4-way flashers, and park lamps. Red in color, not missing, damaged, or broken. 100% DOT tape across your DOT bumper, and your DOT bumper is not damaged or broken. Coming over to this side, I would inspect the right side of this vehicle as I did my left. I'm now ready to do my coupling and my in-cab inspection. Do not say I am done or concluded, because that could fail you right there. You're not done yet. You still got a coupling and an in-cab inspection to do, and that is section C. Our coupling. So again, our electrical line and hoses are part of our coupling. Ask the examiner if he wants you to go through this again, since we've already described it from the cab back of the truck to the trailer. They will probably say no, but just be prepared and ask for it, please. So we're on to our coupling. Our apron, we've already talked about that earlier, is mounted securely to the trailer. It's not damaged or broken, and it's held in place with factory welds. Between the skid plate, oops, almost put that in grease, and the apron, there should be no daylight between the skid plate and the apron. If you have daylight in there, one, your coupling is probably not good. Recheck it before you move the truck, or two, you might not be on level ground. Then you have your skid plate. It's mounted securely to the vehicle. It's not damaged or broken. And also make sure that your skid plate is well greased for ease of turning. Then you have your lock handle and release. The fifth wheel is in the locked and travel position. It's mounted securely to the vehicle. It's not damaged or broken. This particular truck has a sliding fifth wheel. So check and make sure that the locking pins are locked, or the fifth wheel will move either forward or backwards on you. Then you have your mounting plate. It's not damaged or broken, not cracked, no illegal welds, and your mounting bolts. Be sure to mention those. If you don't, you could be goofing yourself. So mounting bolts. Then we're going to crawl underneath our truck. Okay, this is your kingpin. This is the shaft, this is the shank, and this is the head of it. The shank, or the skinny part right here, is what the locking jaws of the fifth wheel will close around.
Use your ruler and point to the, where she can get a, under there.
Your locking jaws are right here. They will close around the shank of the kingpin. Locks the trailer into place with the truck. Okay, this is part of your this is your in cab now. I always start with my safety items first. So the first thing is your seat belt. There. It is mounted securely to the B-pillar of the truck and to the floor. Pull the belt out, inspect the webbing, the belt itself. No abrasion, bulges, and cuts. Come to your latch. It latches and unlatches freely with no problem. The latch itself is mounted to the seat and to the floor. In my cargo box, I have 3 reflective triangles that are amber and red in color, not missing, damaged, or broken, a pair of wheel chocks, and my ABC type fire extinguisher, fully charged, up to date with a safety pin. If those are in your cargo box, ask the examiner if you would like to see them. Next, going to our mirrors, left and right. Mounted securely to the vehicle, not missing, damaged, or broken. No illegal stickers, clean and adjusted to me. Windshield, mounted securely to the vehicle with a weather strip. The windshields are not damaged, broken. No illegal stickers to block my view. And the seal around the windshield has no leaks. While I'm still up here, go to my windshield wipers. They are mounted securely to the vehicle. They're not missing, damaged, or broken. And the rubber blades do not appear to be missing, damaged, or broken. And they are pressed firmly against the windshield. Next up, I'm going to check my steering. No more than 2 inches of play, or 10 degrees in a 20-inch steering wheel. Check your clutch. No more than 2 inches of play on your clutch. Now we are ready for a safe start. To conduct the safe start, you want to press your clutch all the way to the floor, ensure the vehicle is in neutral. Turn the key on, get all your pretty warning lights up. You're looking for your ABS warning light, which came on and went off in a very big hurry. Release your clutch. Don't jump away from it just in case the truck is in gear. It don't look good. Now, we're going to start with our gauges. You have 6 gauges that you need to be mindful of. Number 1, oil pressure. Every truck is different, but this is your oil pressure gauge. It should read between anywhere from 20 to 60 pounds. This one is about 55 pounds. Next is your water temperature. Normally it should operate between 180 and 210. This one is about 130 and rising. Then you have your DEF gauge, or your diesel exhaust fluid, where the little green bars are at. This one is showing about 75% full. Then you have your primary and secondary air gauges. They should read anywhere from 120 to 140 pounds per square inch. Then you have your city horn and your air horn. Make sure they are working. Then you want to check your heat and defrost. So come over, switch it over to defrost, turn the fan on, reach up and see that it is blowing. My defroster is working. Then switch it down to floor heat and check and make sure that the floor heater works. My floor heat works. Then want to check your 4-way or emergency flashers. This particular truck, they're located right here. Make sure you have the indicators flashing on the dashboard. The little green lights flashing on the dashboard indicates that they are working. I have my left turn signal, which is working by the indicator. My right turn signal is working, indicated by the indicator. And then check your lights. Turn your lights on. You should see your dash lights come on. That will tell you that your low beam headlights are working. This particular truck, to turn on your high beams, pull back on the turn signal switch. You'll have a blue indicator indicating that your high beam lights are working. Then turn your lights off. Now we are ready for our brake test. Make sure that you have plenty of air pressure to conduct your brake test. So when you are ready, place your truck in first gear, turn the engine off, step away from the clutch, turn the electrics back on, where all the warning lights and your gauges should make their sweep. Release your tractor brake, release your trailer brakes. That hissing noise you hear are the brakes being released, air going through the system. Allow that to stop hissing. The first part of your brake test is you're going to apply approximately 90 pounds of pedal pressure to your brake pedal and hold it for 1 minute. And you should not lose more than 4 pounds of air pressure in 1 minute. So when you get ready to do that, get your stopwatch or your phone, get it to stopwatch, hit your brake pedal, and then your timer. Wait for 1 minute. Watching your air gauges, make sure you do not lose more than 4 pounds in 1 minute. I normally go about 1 minute and 2, 1 minute and 3 seconds. So, approximately 1 minute has gone. I went ahead and shortened it, but as a courtesy, I show the examiner my stopwatch. That way there's no confusion on the time length. The next part of my test is I'm going to fan my brake pedal, and at around 60 psi, my low air pressure warning buzzer and light should come on. So fan your brake pedal, watch your gauges. Notice I have about 60 pounds of air pressure, warning lights and buzzer. The next part of my test is I'm going to fan my brakes until my spring or emergency brake valves pop out. And they should pop out between 20 and 45 pounds of air pressure. You can stay right there. You can stay there. Watch your valves. Make sure they pop out. Notice that one did it one at a time. So like I said, watch your brake valves. Make sure they both pop out. If you help these valves out, that could fail your test. And I am down to about 25 pounds of air pressure. So I'm within specifications. The next part of my test is I'm going to do another safe start to build my air pressure back up. So again, clutch to the floor, transmission in neutral, restart your engine. Gently off the clutch. I'm going to rev my engine between 11 and 1400 RPMs to speed up my compressor, and between 120 and 140 pounds, my governor will turn my compressor off. You will hear a ka-ch, or as some people call it, a sneeze. Now, as a courtesy, I usually tell the examiner my low air pressure warning light went off at 60 psi, but you don't have to do that, but I do it as a courtesy. We're continuing for the governor cutout between 120 and 140 pounds. You heard that shh? That is the governor turning off the compressor. I'm at 140 pounds of air pressure, both in my primary and secondary air tanks. The next part of my test is we're going to do a tug test against our tractor and trailer brakes. So we're going to place the truck in first gear, or low gear as some people call it, and I'm going to release my trailer brakes, which is the red knob. That releases the trailer brakes. And I'm going to tug against my locked tractor or truck brakes, and the vehicle should not be able to move, so give it a light tug. Do not jump off the clutch, just give it a light tug until you feel it. Just like that. The vehicle did not move. Now, pull out your red knob, push in the yellow. Let the air hiss and go through the system. You're going to do another tug test against your locked trailer brakes, and again, the vehicle should not move, so give it a nice light tug. That is acceptable. Vehicle did not move. Now, the last part of your test is that you're going to pull forward at 5 miles an hour and apply your service brake or your foot brake, and the vehicle should not pull to the left or to the right. So hold your steering wheel lightly, pull forward. The vehicle did not pull to the left or to the right. Set your parking brakes, put the vehicle in neutral, turn the engine off, tell the examiner that now concludes my pre-trip and in-cab inspection. Hope you guys enjoyed.